It's devastating to have witnessed it happen, but actually it's a really complex issue that has been unfolding for over 100 years.
All good things do come to an end, but it's not an end.
Today we're in front of the Major Oak, the glorious home of Robin Hood in Sherwood Forest. The Major Oak itself is a marvel because it's got to what we believe to be 1,000 years old. For the past 5 or so years we have been really intensely monitoring and researching into the health of the Major Oak. At this stage it looks like, unfortunately, the Major Oak is ceasing to come into leaf. And no matter what we do now, it's gone beyond a certain point where any interventions that we make can help. It just can't sustain itself.
It's easy to argue it's probably the most famous tree in the world. 300 years ago, Major Hayman Rooke, who the tree is currently named after, first popularised it. He wrote about it and drew it. That's when it first seemed to come on people's radar. Lots of people have wanted to come and see it. But then I think in 1896, the railways came to this area. People were able to visit the tree easily, and with that came lots and lots of footfall. All those people walking around it can cause compaction to the soil, and we know the soil is actually compacted to 1.2 metres deep now. That wouldn't just come from footfall, it's also come from vehicles. Vehicles used to park right next to it, and then during World War II, the site was a ammunition dump. That's right up until the 50s. Just that footfall, that pressure is unprecedented. Right at the end of its life, like in the last 10% of its life, when it hasn't had a great deal of vitality, then it's been affected.
In 2021, we actually embarked on a series of in-depth surveys and analysis to try and uncover what was exactly happening beneath the ground. What we found was the Major Oak's root system had been severely compromised by the compacted soils. The sandy soils squash easily, and thousands, even millions of tourists walking up have actually led to a strangulation of the root system.
Obviously the tree has been fenced off since then, and as knowledge has improved, people were kept away from the tree.
What we've tried to do is leave it wild for wildlife, on advice from the UK's leading soil scientists, because the root systems from the plants and the vegetation and the saplings that are in the Major Oak's compound now are also helping us break down that compaction in a natural way. It's really restoring health and life and vitality to an area that has had none for a very long time. So what we now know today is that the treatments of the past have in fact been things that we would absolutely balk at today. This includes pouring concrete into the buttresses to fill in gaps. It's had fire retardant paint painted inside it. It's had its wounds glued over almost to seal them. These were all done with the intention to keep the tree alive, but ultimately have impacted on how it can survive into its later years.
In the last 5 years, we've had 4 droughty springs. In 2022, we had 40-degree heat here. The weather is just off the scale with what the tree has normally experienced. That's definitely impacted the tree. So I don't think we can just pin it down and say it's one thing. There's a whole web of reasons, factors that have affected it. And it's a very, very old tree, which becomes much more sensitive to these changes.
So you may have heard the old adage that an oak tree is 300 years to grow, 300 years to live, 300 years to die. And while there is some foundation in that, there is actually no reason why a tree can't live beyond 900 years. And what we know is that they will biologically reorganise themselves. They can live much longer and in much more complex ways than we're aware of. That might mean they drop a limb and the limb is allowed to touch the floor and then grow on as a new, younger sapling. The trees are amazing creatures. We're constantly learning.
Trees don't age like you and I. Our days are numbered from the moment we're conceived. Our DNA is deteriorating. That's not the same for trees. They have no idea what age they are. Their cells are all eternally kind of youthful. So even on an ancient tree, the live bit of that tree is no more than a couple of years old because it's just that sapwood. And that's their kind of like party trick, because they can technically live forever. They don't. It's usually their physiology or their environment that fails them. But technically, if we were to manage these trees appropriately, give them the space and the care required, we can keep them standing longer, which means they are a renewing resource. It has lived so long, it has provided such a fantastic range of habitats over its lifetime that will have changed and supported different communities through that time.
It's thought that 2,000 plus species utilise oaks in part of their life cycle, which is incredible when other species might have less than 100. So they really are absolute sort of superstars in terms of biodiversity they support. Not only is that birds, bats, mammals, it's lichens, it's fungi, it's the saproxylic invertebrates, those species that use dead and dying wood. Then there's flies, bees, wasps, all sorts. And now that the major oak has died, those species will absolutely thrive on it for years, decades, longer.
I think a lot of people have really latched onto the idea that it's important to allow natural processes to happen, and that's a really important part of nature. We can't really apply that when it comes to ancient and veteran trees because we don't have those next generation trees. So as soon as a tree dies, it transitions into a completely new life phase. A standing deadwood tree like we have over there is of completely different value to a living ancient. It supports a different community of species. We have a real age gap, but also a spatial gap in terms of connectivity across our landscapes. Sherwood Forest at its height would have stretched over a huge area, stretching across the whole of Nottinghamshire, and would have connected to other better connected landscape at its peak. But we don't live in that reality now, and so these trees really are the kind of last vestiges of a really incredible community.
We have 996 other ancient oaks here in the forest, so although the major oak is the big draw, the other oaks that we have here, many of them have names, they have stories, and they in turn inspire the children that come here to learn. And like everything, legends evolve, legends change, and like the Robin Hood story, the tree is now entering a new era. It might not look the same as people remember, but memories do live on, and it's still such an iconic and beautiful tree, and it will always be part of the Robin Hood legend. It will be here for years and years to come, and that is something to be celebrated.
I've just got one thing to say, and legends never die.
The major oak is actually a living museum. It continues to teach us. While I am devastated at the loss of the major oak, I'm looking forward to ensuring that we can put all of our learning, all of the science, everything that we know has been done for the right reasons into practice for other ancient and veteran trees. We want to make sure that that legacy is protected by ensuring that there are acorns and saplings grown on in the right place out in the wider Sherwood Forest landscape. We're going to be looking at exactly how we do that in the coming years.
You don't become an ancient tree if there is not something a bit special about you. Every single one is incredibly rare. The story that comes from this is the fact that we need to not allow this to happen to other ancients and other veteran trees. We don't have any legal protection for our ancient and veterans across the UK. Be their voice, stand up for them, and we need policy to change and actually kind of support better protection of these trees.
I would say don't be sad. We've got to remember that there is an incredible amount of life still living in it. The biodiversity that it supports will go on for decades, if not longer. Gradually, what will happen is the ends of the branches will fall off, the bark will fall off it, and it will get bleached by the sun, and it will look like an enormous piece of amazing sculpture. I still think it's a beautiful thing to visit, and it's still important to us culturally and historically. All good things do come to an end, but it's not an end.